Hi, folks. This is Bernie Siler, here to bring you some interesting tidbits on National Football League history, as I do each and every week at this time. I want to tell you about a few interesting ball games that took place over the last 70 years that featured a lot of side attractions as well as the action on the gridiron. Let's first go to 1936, where the National Football League championship was between the Boston Redskins and the Green Bay Packers. That's right, the Boston Redskins, that was their last year in Boston. They moved to Washington the next year. Well, the Eastern Conference had home field for that, so the Redskins' home was Fenway Park. But the game wasn't played in Fenway Park. Why? Because of the quirky owner, George Preston Marshall, who seemed to have a feud or have an eccentric way to look at a lot of different things. Now, he could have played in Fenway Park, but he quipped that the number of people in Fenway Park for my games, I've seen more people at the South Station on a waiting room in Boston on a Saturday night than come to the games at Fenway Park. So he finagled a way to get a bigger gate and had that game played in the Polo Grounds. Well, the Polo Grounds didn't help the Redskins. The Packers prevailed 21-6 in that game. Fast forward to December 1941. Not a very intriguing ball game by football standards. The Eagles and the Redskins were playing. No championship or division crown was at stake then. And the Redskins ended up winning 20-14. They jumped out to a big lead at halftime. The Eagles made it close, and the Skins ultimately prevailed. But a funny thing happened on the way to the final gun. About midway through the third quarter, the stadium was almost empty. And it wasn't because the Redskins had a commanding lead. After all, they were only ahead by a touchdown. Well, the game had started at 2 o'clock in Washington. And just for your information, that would have made it 8 o'clock in Hawaii. Keep that in mind. By the middle of the first quarter, the public address announcer began to call for a series of people, spectators at the game, to return to their respective offices in Washington. Admiral Finn, please report to your office. Mr. Escovalde, the commissioner of the Philippines, please report to the embassy. And this went on, and both the Redskins, Eagle players, and all the fans tended to wonder what was going on. Well, George Preston Marshall knew what was going on, but in his usual eccentric way, did not reveal it because he didn't want to distract his fans from the ball game. Well, the event that was happening that was causing all those people to leave the stadium that might have detracted from Marshall's show on the field far outweighed anything the Eagles and the Redskins could have done that day. As it turns out, just about kickoff time at 2 o'clock, when the Eagles and Redskins began to play, another kickoff was going on in the Pacific. Japanese bombers attacked Pearl Harbor. And the Eagles and Redskins 20-14 game pales in comparison to the other events that occurred that day.